everyone. I'm Allison Barbosa, and I'm delighted to be chatting today with Jennifer Waldron, Vice President, Supplier Enablement, Global Merchant, and Network Services at American Express. Jennifer, welcome, and we'd love to hear just a few words about yourself before we begin.
Hi, Allison. Thank you for having me. As you mentioned, I am Vice President at American Express. I'm responsible for our supplier enablement organization, which is responsible for delivering B2B solutions to our supplier community at scale, solving customer needs, and delivering growth for the enterprise.
Very cool. Sounds like a great job. So for everyone, if you're new to My Career in 6, we're going to start with some rapid fire questions. I'm really just looking for one-word answers from you, Jennifer, and then we'll follow up with some more detailed questions afterwards. So are you ready, Jennifer? Let's start. Who or what inspires you?
My family.
Do you attribute your success to luck or hard work?
A lot of hard work with a sprinkle of luck along the way.
What drives you?
My desire to make an impact and to help other people.
What is the favorite quote or motto that you live by?
So one of my favorite quotes is by Maya Angelou. And she said, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. I think that's really very true.
Yeah, that just gave me chills. When applying for a new job, what percentage of attributes do you feel you have to have in order to apply for that role?
I would say somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 to 60%.
It's reasonable. Coolest payments company today?
American Express, of course.
Of course, I would expect nothing else. Thank you, Jennifer. Now we'll just get to know a little bit more about yourself in a few more in-depth questions. What has been your biggest challenge as you climbed the ladder in the payments industry?
My biggest challenge was a self-imposed one, frankly. I'm a full-time working mom, and I'm ambitious about my role as a mother, but I'm also ambitious about my professional goals. And through my career, I've been on a quest to find balance between work and home life. And I've realized that there's no magic formula. Life isn't always a perfect balance, but I'm really lucky to work for an organization that promotes wanting that work-life balance.
What do you feel has been your greatest accomplishment in your career?
Coaching and developing others to deliver results and drive innovation has probably been my biggest accomplishment. As an individual contributor earlier in my career, I enjoyed developing strategy and delivering results, and I was in control of my own destiny. But when I reached a place in my career where I was given the opportunity to lead others, and I invested my time and energy into developing someone else, I felt a really great sense of accomplishment in a new way.
If there's one thing you could have done differently, what would that have been? And what advice would you give to aspiring young professionals in the industry?
Earlier in my career, I very much viewed my path as an incline, right? I was focused on the path to promotion, and I didn't really consider the diversity of experience or balance of roles. I wish I would have pushed myself out of my comfort zone a little more and taken some additional opportunities. In terms of advice, I would say to aspiring women, be bold, be curious, and just know that career growth isn't always a straight line.
That's great advice. And I think you touched on this in one of the earlier questions, but what have you done to bring others along in their journey?
So, as you mentioned, I've appreciated all of the support, the guidance, and even the sponsorship that I've had throughout my career. And I very much believe in paying that forward. I've done that formally through mentoring relationships that I have with colleagues across the company and participating in programs for aspiring leaders. But I also think it's really important that we do things on the off days, the normal days where I can help to create an opportunity for someone that they otherwise couldn't create for themselves. Maybe it's a chance to present an idea to a senior audience, or in some cases, creating new opportunities that others don't see or don't think they're ready for.
And you mentioned connections in your last answer, actually, but how important have your networks and connections been in assisting you in your career trajectory in the payments landscape?
Hugely important, I would say. I've always enjoyed creating new relationships with people, and of course, that's just a critical part of getting business done. But I found that those special relationships are the ones with people who advocated for me when I didn't know I needed it or when I wasn't in the room. And those sponsors and people in my network have had a really profound impact on where I am today.
And as a senior female leader, how have you helped shape the culture of your current business?
So the culture that I've created in my business is a reflection of my values. I believe in transparency and having tough conversations when needed. I believe in being inclusive, and that means hearing all the voices on my team, not just the loudest ones or just the ones that sound like me. And I really believe in empowering my colleagues and collaborating for joint success.
No, that's great. Thank you, Jennifer. And that was really inspiring, and we appreciate you sharing your career journey with us. So on that very note, I would just like to thank you again. And I want to thank everybody for listening. And we encourage you to join our online episodes of My Career in Six to hear from people and leaders like Jennifer around the world. Thanks again.
Thank you, Allison. It was a pleasure.